Hello, my name is Garrett. Welcome to Progress Theory. Right now, this is just a video series where I am just detailing my journey and my efforts to overcome addictive behavior, build up positive behavior and positive momentum, and become closer to the person I really want to be. For anyone who hasn't watched any of these videos, I gave a very detailed description of what kind of rock bottom actually was in my life in the week one video. If you want the full story, you can go ahead and watch that. Very brief recap essentially is I, since the age of 13, began developing an addiction to pornography, and over the course of about 6, 7 years, it just continued to escalate. It was a daily behavior, and I started to just build up this overarching part of my personality that was very compulsive and craved instant gratification in any way I could get. Transferred to weed, video games, binge watching shows, eating garbage food, just any form of instant gratification I could get my hands on, and I tried to stop for a couple of years, and after years of failure, at some point, just kind of broke down and gave in completely, and let this part of my personality take over. And the porn addiction escalated to the point where I was compulsively visiting escorts, both trans and female, which I had a very religious upbringing. And even though I kind of left that behind, the shame I felt from that was immense, and got me to the point where I wanted to kill myself. That was about 2 years ago. I am not quite there anymore. I have made a lot of progress since then. As I've said in the last few videos, it's not quite as much progress as I thought I had made, but it's real nonetheless. So yeah, gonna just go into kind of an overview of my week. Um, it has not been great, but also not horrible. Again, just relative. The last 2 months have gone very poorly, and relative to the worst weeks in these last 2 months, I am definitely making progress again, kind of starting to build some momentum. Uh, Even slow progress is way better than stagnation or regression, and I'm definitely making slow progress. With work, that's the biggest. That's the biggest area I'm still struggling in. I'm just really struggling to get myself moving with just work input, putting in hours to both progress theory and studying for the new position I'm going for. It was just unfortunate timing that I had to leave my main job, because that was my main source of structure, and if I wouldn't have left that, I have no doubt that I would not have collapsed as hard as I did. I would have at the very least still been working 40 hours a week. Uh, and when I'm working on progress theory or studying for the new job I'm going after, those are tasks that are there's zero external accountability or structure to them, and it's very easy for me to procrastinate and just push it off one more day, as opposed to if I'm scheduled, I have never just not shown up. So I'm struggling to get that moving, and that results in a lot of wasted time and a lot of time spent kind of just distracting myself. And when I do that, I am way more susceptible to uh, engaging in behaviors I don't want to engage in. Um, as a result of the lack of work, I mean, my finances are pretty trash right now. I'm just burning through money, which, as I said in the last few videos, it's okay. Like, I've set myself up to where I can do that, but it's also not optimal. Like, why reduce your savings when you can increase it? Negative cash flow is inherently unsustainable. So it definitely creates stress and anxiety. and I am excited to change that soon. I definitely feel a lot better when I'm at the very least cash flow neutral. Positive habits are definitely the area of the most growth in the last couple of weeks. 33 of 35 is really good. And in the first like 8 videos or so, when I was getting perfect scores over and over again, I talked about how it kind of just becomes the norm. It's my excitement for doing it goes down just because I become used to the feeling of success in that area. But I could tell every week it just felt like I was stacking more momentum, and I was starting to see more and more positive rewards for doing so. And that's still the case. Even just the 2 weeks I've had success. Um, I'm feeling a lot better because of that. I can tell that it produces a feeling that I am actually moving forward, and that kind of creates a little bit of confidence and motivation and drive to keep pushing. With my negative habits, porn specifically, I think I'm doing better right now than these numbers indicate, because these numbers are the result of the beginning of the week. The first couple days were really bad, and I had gotten about a week away from porn and then relapsed, and kind of over the course of a couple days, I overcame 2 of 4 urges on this day, then 1 of 3, 2 of 4, 1 of 3, 0 of 5. And I started texting escorts more and more. It started, I mean, that day was pretty bad. 7, 4, 1, 11. Extremely bad day. And then 4. And I was getting into that headspace where when I text escorts, the thing that gets me to do it every time is I tell myself I'm not actually going to go and meet them. I'm just going to text them and kind of give into the fantasy of it, but not actually follow through. And then most of the time, like the number, I don't get a response, or I do, and it's way too much money or way too far away, or there's all these reasons where I'm like, yeah, I know that I don't actually want to do this. I know that I'm going to hate myself if I do. And so I'm not going to go through with it. But the more I allow myself to indulge in the fantasy of it, the closer I get to, the more I'm feeding that fantasy and feeding the desire to actually go through with it. And then there will be like one moment where they respond immediately and they're pretty close, and it's an amount of money where my completely irrational, emotionally charged headspace is like, yeah, I can justify that. And I get myself to go. And on Friday, I did. I went to a hotel, went right up to the door pretty much. I was like 20 feet away, and stopped. Talked to ChatGPT, texted some people, told them what was going on, and ended up walking away, which I feel good about. Obviously, I would rather do that than go through with it. I still don't like the fact that I'm doing it at all. But as I've talked about in my last few videos, I'm really trying to create a way more balanced personality, and focus on acceptance and presence, and compassion just as much as I'm focused on growth and purpose. And the reality that I have to accept is I have fed this addiction for 12 years. And I have probably watched thousands of hours of porn. I have visited escorts over a dozen times. I have nursed this fantasy of visiting escorts hundreds of times. And so that is a deep neural wiring. Like, I have trained my brain to crave this, and fundamentally changing the neurology of your brain is not an instant process. And so it's going to take me time to fully overcome this and for my brain to adjust accordingly. And so it's important that I have compassion, I think, for my failures. Because there is a part of me that wants to do this. And for a long time, I've absolutely hated that part of me. And I've allowed my hatred for that to create a general self-loathing for myself as a whole. And that just fuels the spiral. When I start to hate myself, I just keep going back to this behavior because it masks the feelings. So as much as I wish I could say I did not go to a hotel this week, I didn't visit an escort, or I didn't text escorts, didn't watch porn, I am proud of the fact that I didn't actually go through with it. And I'm proud of the fact that following that moment and that day, I recognized, like, okay, over the last 5 days, I have allowed myself to escalate and spiral a little bit. And if I keep doing this, I'm probably going to end up doing it. I'm probably going to end up actually going through with it. And I really don't want to, because I know how that goes. And it results in immediate suicidal ideation for me, and pain. And so I stepped up to the line and became aware and backed down and immediately increased my effort in overcoming urges. And the last few days have been really good following that. So yeah, I wouldn't say it was a great week. I don't look at the numbers overall with a lot of pride. There's clearly a lot of room for growth in those numbers, but I look at the last 2 months and I do think that to some degree the breakdown I experienced was necessary. There was a lot of aspects of my identity that needed to be exposed, and major change was necessary, or I was going to keep living my life completely ruled by my self-hatred and innate sense of worthlessness. And I'm very excited for the trajectory that this breakdown has put me on. It's still hard for me to be excited about the actual tangible metrics of where I'm at right now in the process. But I think I will keep getting better. And I think I will be a significantly healthier person for having gone through the last 2 months. One part of that does kind of suck right now is I just feel extremely sad, to the point where it feels kind of crippling. And I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think for most of my life, I have ran away from my emotions, and I've done anything I can to mask them and medicate them and escape. And that works until it doesn't. And by doing it, you're not actually escaping it. You're pushing it off with an interest rate. And as much as I would love for there to be some way for me to overcome my addictions and create growth in my life without having to actually experience all the emotions I've pushed off for years, I don't think that's possible. I think this is no doubt because of my recent breakup. I absolutely feel extremely sad about that still, but I think it's also just uh, my emotions thawing out after years of um, avoidance. And the only way out is through, I think. I have to feel this. I have to accept it and feel it, and by doing so, not only will it end, but I can build up my capacity to feel negative emotion and not act on it, which is that is the crux of addiction, from what I understand, is an attempt to run away from negative emotions or circumstances through instantly gratifying behavior. Uh, and so, if you can learn how to sit with emotions and let them pass, then you learn how to overcome addictive urges. Um, so yeah, I there are definitely moments where it feels like it's never going to end, and I feel like I'm just going to be depressed forever. Um, but I don't think that is true. I think this will pass, uh, and this is necessary for me to find uh, genuine well-being. Um, so we'll see how long it takes. I could be wrong. Maybe it never goes away. That would suck, but we'll see. In the meantime, I can keep doing the things that are proven to make you happier and healthier, and keep building positive habits, keep trying to work on reducing the negative habits, and keep pushing forward. So, yeah, as always, I appreciate anyone who is willing to take the time to actually watch this. At this point, the channel's pretty new, but this is also a fairly, what's the word? You have to have a decent attention span to enjoy a video like this. It's not very stimulating. It's not highly engaging, probably, by YouTube standards. And it is me talking about my own life. And if my experiences are not relatable to the few people who click on this video, they're obviously not going to stay. But anyone who actually took the time to watch this, I do appreciate it a lot. I appreciate your attention, and I hope it is not. I hope you get something out of it. I hope something in my experience helps you create some sort of progress and growth in your own life. So yeah, I hope you find all the growth you're looking for. Until next week.